Wonderful. Well, welcome everyone to our bi-weekly College Council meeting. My name is Ricky Shabazz. I have the honor and privilege of being the president of our wonderful college. Joining us are the leaders from our various constituency groups who come together to talk about the college's support programs, instructional programs, decisions, governance, and a host of other things. As I introduce the members of College Council, if someone who is watching live via YouTube, or if somebody watches this recording later on YouTube and you would like to bring a matter forward to College Council, you can do so one of two ways, either by reaching out to the president's office and working with Janelli. Thank you, Janelli, for your great efforts in supporting College Council, or by reaching out to one of the leaders of the various constituency groups at College Council. I will begin with introducing Paul, the past president of the Academic Senate.
Here and present.
Good to see you, Paul. Tilly, vice president of instruction.
Present.
Good to see you, Tilly. Robbie, chair of Institutional Technology Council.
Present.
Caesar, information officer. See, I can see Caesar. I'm not sure if he can hear us, but Caesar is present online. I do not see Jocelyn yet, but maybe she's going to join us. Nadia, who I believe this is your last meeting, Nadia, congratulations. And thank you for your leadership over what seems like the last 3 or 4 years. We
5, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank
Matter
you.
of fact, you were in my very first interview when I got to hire a faculty member. It's all coming back to me. Yes, we've been
Yep.
from the beginning, but Nadia is going to be transitioning back into civilian life. So thank you, Nadia, for all of your great efforts. And Nadia is the president of the Chairs Academy.
Thank you.
Susan, the dean of institutional effectiveness.
Present.
Masa, administrative representative.
Present.
Diego, the reason why we hear one of our amazing student leaders, the new ASG president, also an Emoja student. Diego, I see you. And we would love to hear your voice, Diego. I see you on mute.
President, just glad to be here.
That's my student. That's my student, everybody. That's my
Diego's
student.
also going to be joining us on our Africa trip. Janelli, let's put that on the agenda for the next meeting, is to provide an update on the Africa trip on College Council. John, Vice President of Administrative Services.
Present.
Marciano, Vice President of Students.
Present.
Sean, President of the Classified Senate.
Hi, everyone. I'm present.
Maria Jose, good to see you. Welcome back. Our President of the Academic Senate.
Presente.
And I see Jocelyn has joined us, and Jocelyn is the supervisory representative.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Let me just get our correct agenda up. And again, thank you to Janelli and everyone involved with the agenda. We have a relatively light agenda today, a lot of updates, but it's always good to come together as College Council. Again, folks that are watching, this is your College Council, the leaders of our constituency groups on campus. If you would like to add an agenda item or discussion point on College Council, you could reach out to one of them or the president's office. We would gladly add it to our meeting. We meet every other week, and that includes the summer, because there is a ton of work to be done in deciding how to move our college forward, particularly during a pandemic. I was trying to figure if we were during the pandemic, after the pandemic, I don't know. So if someone, item 2 is a motion for approval of the June 2nd meeting notes. If someone would like to make a motion, should have been included in your handouts, the email, and the calendar invite. Would someone like to make a motion?
This is Sean, and I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Sean. And you did a great job of modeling how to do this by introducing yourself. Is there Someone like to second the motion?
This is Maria Jose Celedon Perez, and I second.
Thank you, Maria Jose. She beat you out the gate, Jocelyn, but I heard your voice. Any further discussion on the meeting notes from June 7th? Hearing that, all of those in favor, if you can indicate by using your reaction button, and green is for approval, the X is for you'd like to be in opposition, or you can unmute yourself to abstain for the good of the order.
I'll abstain. This is Tilly.
Great. Looks like the motion carries. Next up, you may be wanting to know, what are we doing for outreach? And it looks like we have our wonderful acting outreach coordinator, Clarissa, and I believe Caesar. Did we lose Caesar?
Yes, he was
Said he
having
had, yeah.
difficulties, but he's back.
Okay. Wanted to just make sure everyone knew what our amazing outreach and marketing department has in store as we seek to re-engage the students who may have stopped out, as we seek to bring our educational programs throughout our service area, which we know is largely Southeast San Diego, or south of the 8, as we affectionately like to say. And so wanted to invite Caesar and Clarissa to provide an overview of what we have planned. You all should know that the state has given us a significant investment in outreach and marketing, and they're going to provide a high-level overview and then take any suggestions and questions about what we're doing to engage our community. I will turn it over to you, Caesar, and/or Clarissa, whoever's going to lead the discussion.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start. And then may I share my screen, please?
You should be able to share your screen, Caesar.
Thank you. Let's see. Here. I just want to give a brief overview of what communications and outreach is doing. And so I have my partner here, Clarissa, and we'll give a quick overview. So like what Ricky said, that we have 2 pots of money come from the state. We have a phase 1 of $655,000, which you can see here outlined, and we'll go over that real quickly. And then we also have a second pot of money that we'll be working with $400,000, and we'll also be working with the district for a district-wide campaign in the amount of $125,000. And so some of the things that we're doing for 22-23, we're doing advertising and media buys. And that includes our digital marketing and advertising, out of home, radio. Some of those advertising and items can be seen here. We'll be doing ads in English and in Spanish, to make sure we reach our audience. So the top 3 right there, you can see some of our marketing or remarketing ads. They're on top, digital ads. Next is our billboards that will be in our service areas, which includes Barrio Logan, Southeast San Diego. And we'll also be doing a trolley wrap and bus wrap, also in time for Comic-Con. So we're going to get a lot of eyes on our trolley wrap here. And we're continuing with the theme of You Belong Here, and also incorporating the a second message that I am San Diego, I am City College. And so that's some of the stuff there. Some of the other things that our office is working on, a lot of communication. We're going back to snail mail. We've got a lot of great response from students, receiving letters, trying to create that excitement, with college. And so, students really enjoy seeing mail from the president welcome them to City College. And so we're continuing with that, trying to target a lot of our different populations: Black, Latinx, API, LGBTQ, and so on. And then we're also working with our learning communities and figuring ways or creating strategies and ways to celebrate our students. So we're working with our honors, our different various student clubs and athletes. I don't know, Clarissa, if you want to jump in with some outreach.
Yeah, thanks, Caesar. So like Caesar is sharing here, it's really a multi-pronged approach. We know that the pandemic has changed the way that students do business with us, the way that we do business with the community. But at the same time, we're not minimizing the ways that we're reaching out to the community, we're expanding. So we're going to be doing all of the traditional marketing with the bus wraps, as well as the media buys. But at the same time, like Caesar mentioned, we're going back to snail mail, postcards. We're getting back into the community one-on-one in person, going to resource fairs, cultural celebration nights. So we're getting a lot of swag and giveaways to engage with not only just prospective students, but also their families and future generations as well. So we'll be continuing to increase our participation within community resource fairs, recreation centers, libraries, getting out into cultural celebrations, but as well as the high schools. This past year, part of this seed money was used to start these signing days, which we did at 7 different high schools. And we had over 100 students commit to coming to city. So we're looking to expand that for next year as well. And like Caesar mentioned, just really partnering with our special population groups so that we can do targeted in-reach and outreach. And another piece of this, of course, is also retention. So we know that retention is a really important piece right now. Yes, we're getting students, but we want to keep those students and we want to make them successful. We want them to complete and either get their certificate or transfer over to a four-year university. So we are going to have a retention component to this as well. That's still in the works, but we want to make sure that we're encouraging and celebrating students as they are progressing through the different semesters here at City. Another piece that we really want to, amplify is working with our special pops, like our LGBTQIA, our athletes, our at-risk student populations, getting into homeless resource centers. So it's going to be a really robust program that we're going to have for summer and fall and next spring, trying to target all of our students that either stopped out, as well as being mindful of the way that students want to do re-envision their education post-pandemic as well.
Great, thank you, Clarissa. If anybody has any questions, comments?
More of a comment, and I just want to say to Clarissa and Caesar and to your teams, thank you. There's just so much happening all the time. You're always there, Clarissa. You and the team have always been there to help us out, our safety net. Thank you. Stu, thank you too.
Yeah, and I just want to appreciate everyone's support too. I mean, successful enrollment is, everyone's responsibility, and we appreciate everyone's support with helping outreach and communications with sharing the good work that we're doing here on campus, and making sure our students get this information to them.
Paul.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to thank both of you, and I know there's a whole team behind this type of outreach. I think it's really important to be able to reach specifically those students who have been left behind by the transition to Zoom. Many people have heard me talk before how I'm worried that many campuses across the state and the US are pushing towards online and saying it's impossible to go back to pre-pandemic, which of course leaves everybody out who was left behind during the pandemic. And so I just want to say how much I appreciate you and our administrators too, who have continued to stress the importance of in-person learning and reaching out to kind of the most vulnerable in these times. And so absolutely elated to see all of the work that's going into it, and feel a little bit better about the future of education because of your efforts. So thank you.
Thank you, Paul. We absolutely are committed to getting everyone back on campus in some capacity, with health and safety at the top of our priority. Clarissa, are you prepared? And if not, no worries, we can have you come back to talk about like community events and churches, and how those of us who are online right now or watching can get involved in helping in some of these activities?
Well, I would say that something that Genevieve and I have been discussing, not only is getting back into churches, but actually inviting churches and other houses of worship onto city campus, including nonprofits. So a lot of times we go to resource fairs and provide the assistance, but we want to be able to tell our community partners, we are here for you. This campus belongs to you as well, and you're welcome here, and showing them exactly what it is that we have to offer and showcase, because it's not just outreach. We have so much going on with Welcome Home City, basic needs, our learning communities, our special population programs. There's so much good work that needs to be on display that we want to invite community members onto City. So that's something that we do have planned for the fall, that's in the works right now for discussion.
Great, and that certainly is appreciated. But let me echo kind of what my question actually is, which is when can we see a calendar over the summer of outreach events and church visits so that we can invite the campus and certainly those in College Council to join the outreach team in those events and activities?
We have a draft calendar already set up, so we can present that if you would like on the next College Council.
Yeah, that would be appreciated. And if there was a way to formalize the ability for people to actually sign up to go to things, and I can tell you folks that I am looking forward to spending a couple of my Sundays at some of our community events representing City College. These were things that have gone on throughout the pandemic. Had a chance to spend with the outreach team over at Bayview Church and a couple of other activities, and would certainly, Clarissa, like to generate support for the entire campus to show up at these events and show some San Diego City College, because while Caesar and Clarissa and Genevieve are leading these efforts, outreach, recruitment, admissions is something that we all do to help them. And so, yes, please work with Janelli to get that list so we can bring you back, so we can get people to sign up, and then also work with Caesar to send out a campus email for people to sign up. I look forward to seeing the outreach team in front of grocery stores and Walmarts and other places where the folks who need to experience City College may be frequenting those ones we don't catch on social media advertising or the bus ads or the other things, because it is really, a personal touch that makes the difference between somebody actually coming versus just saying, there goes that bus again. So thank you again, Clarissa. Any other questions for Clarissa and Caesar? Hearing none, we will have Janelli work with you to come back in a couple of weeks. Next, I will provide an update on the state budget. We expect that the governor will sign a budget by the deadline of June 30th. Right now, there are some gaps between the governor's budget and the legislature's budget. And so it'll be interesting to see what actually gets funded. Could come out any day now. It is a fairly robust budget for community colleges. A number of great things included in the budget, like additional money for outreach. One of the things that is missing, though, is a line item for funding full-time faculty. So we're continuing to advocate for the hiring of full-time faculty. We know that that is a key in student success. But overall, it is a decent budget, actually the most funding in the history of community colleges. We should be aware that many of the policymakers, the offices that look at budgets, are predicting a recession somewhere around 24, 25, or 25, 26. So nothing to be alarmed right now, but we are in hold harmless and have work to do around budgeting. Those efforts are underway with the leadership of John Parker and all of our administrators at the college. So there's nothing to worry today, but certainly coming out of 22, 23, our planning processes are going to be important to see how we grow back up to a base level of enrollment. We haven't been hit hard by enrollment losses, but any loss of a student who should be here continuing their education is something that we need to be aware of. And so I want to also commend the Enrollment Management Committee, who is working to identify ways to get students engaged with our college. as we also seek to bring people back. But overall, it's a decent budget. John, anything else you want to share about the budget?
Those are high level. Thank you.
And over the fall, John will be working with the various constituency groups to go high level, but detailed as it relates to City College. We don't know today how it's going to affect us, but I expect in the coming weeks, we will know how it is going, the budget is going to affect us. It's going to be a positive thing overall, though. Any questions about the budget? Hearing none, something we are equally excited about, I'll ask Tilly to provide an update on the faculty hiring prioritization, specifically what faculty members are either in process or already hired. Tilly.
Thank you, Ricky. Good afternoon, everyone. Bringing back the faculty hiring prioritization form that we have for spring 2022 to fall 2023. I wanted to come back and share and give an update where we are. Anything in green is either in recruitment or already been hired. Woohoo! As you can see, we're made our way up until about 15. I'll come back to 6 and 8 shortly in the yellow. And then I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom and also show the machine technology and Native American studies at the bottom as well. So those both are still in recruitment. So just to let you know, this is where we are. And as you look through the guidelines, we're really trying, there is no perfect process, as I heard someone say, but we're trying to get there and help the faculty create that process. They're going to work on it again in the fall. I know Nadia is probably grateful that she's not going to be in that role, but she's going to still be partly working on it, right, Nadia? So it's not like you go away. You still get to do part of it. And they get to figure out how do they make their best recommendations. Well, some things that I just wanted to cover on here, there's a couple of things that you might see, like number 10, it says DSPS, and then I put a little note next to it. We're hiring that with GFR funding. So somehow, some way, Nadia, I need to figure out a way to help also add the language in here. If and when, and I looked to Nadia because she was my co-chair working on, well, she worked on this with the team. In working with, if and when we have the GFR restricted funds available, those would be used before we ever use GFU, our regular funds, right? We want to make sure we're using GFR first. And I think when we actually had this list created, that was not even part of the consideration as part of your prioritization. Is that correct, Nadia?
This is all a little gray for me because I was on leave when all the specifics of this last time happened because of my medical leave. But I'll try to find out.
No, but I guess the biggest thing is to say that if we have the opportunity to hire some, I'm going to stop sharing so I can see people. If we have the opportunity to share, to hire, and it's with restricted funds, we're still hiring, right? So, but we're not going to give both on that. You can't have both. You can't have both of them and give somebody else not anything. Like faculty can only use GFU. It's not like faculty can use GFR unless it comes from a specific grant and et cetera. So I need to figure out a way. I'm going to add that language. I'll be sending it out to people so they understand. There's a couple of 2 in yellow are highlighted because my office has done some research on the 50%. I want to be able to present that back to Academic Senate when we meet, along with the executive team, to see where are we on those positions. Because this particular faculty prioritization list also had quite a few non-instructional positions, which puts us in a really funny position with the state, right? So we want to make sure, where are we? How many did we offer? How many are we doing? As you can see, like when we had number 4 on there, the counseling one, et cetera. So I just wanted to highlight that. I wanted to show you where we are on the list. And I also want to share what I shared. I'm going to share it again. When I went to speak with instructional cabinet, which includes the department chairs back in May, that there are the next ones coming up on the list, as you can see, as we get past 15. There is nothing in here for our business school. And our business school has had quite a few of retirements. We have 1 faculty member left. And while there's different components within the business school, there's accounting, there's economics, there's business studies. They're also one of our bigger producers of our productivity. So we can't really keep pushing on our adjuncts the entire time. So one of the things that I'll be coming probably in the fall is to show some data to faculty, see where we are, and maybe that's where we go next. I can't predict what I'm going to do in the fall semester, but I'm just kind of speculating at the moment. And it's not on the list, but that's really what that purpose is. Susie Marie, I didn't know if there was something, because you also were participating in the list, if there was something you wanted to add about the process.
I think you hit on the biggest challenge, which is how to prioritize both teaching and non-teaching positions as a unified recommendation for faculty, because we just don't have the same types of data. And we have to take into account the 50% rule and other factors. So that's something that we've continued to refine, and we will continue to discuss and try to improve.
So Ricky, did we hit on all the points? Did I miss anything?
Oh, great job. Just wanted to provide an update so that folks knew the number of faculty we are in process of hiring, and combined, we are looking to hire close to 50 people. That's on general fund restricted and general fund. And so we've gone over those lists prior. I think most recently, Tilly sent an email to the campus that had a document that explained where we were in process. Jocelyn, I believe we sent over to you the requested data that you had made in our last meeting. So we are hiring folks. Robbie and his team are revamping the New Hire Institute. We're going to have a conversation next week to make sure we get these folks welcome letters and welcome swag to City College. I'm looking forward to handing every new employee who desires to have a laptop and docking station one. And Robbie, we're going to let them tell us they don't want a desktop, but at least I'm looking forward to handing them a laptop. We have to be ready in case we need to pivot back off campus. Not that we want to do that. Maria Jose.
Hi. No, thank you, Tilly. That was very helpful. I just wanted to clarify. I guess this is a living document, and it will flow and change as the needs change as well, right? Like the business school. But in terms of, because there's a section where it says that there will be blue highlighted for those that come tier 2. So were those included in this go around or not? Because meaning, would this list drastically change the next go around, or would they follow order on the next tier, then the ones below 15 will have priority?
Oh, believe it or not, currently those blue ones, everything has moved into, because moving into the green, even if we haven't quite set the committee just yet, but we have a vacancy, so we've already moved those. So we don't have any blue right now anymore. The blue came away because you have the older list. I have just updated a new one that I didn't get to Janelli before she sent it out. I'll be sending a new one out for you all. At the moment, we're going to have to go back to blues when we get to them, right? That's how many we've had retire. If you recall, in the fall, we'd only had maybe, what, 4 or 5 of these, Ricky? And I was predicting, I said, I think we're going to get halfway through this list by fall of 2022. And sure enough, we're already more than what we thought we were going to hit. So, and I anticipate people will continue to change their minds where they are. You know, it's time for many people in their lives. They say it's time for me to retire or, you know, do other things. So we'll see what happens. Right now, I don't have any blue on the list, but that can change.
Yeah, and I'll just reiterate, everything in green has either been offered or in recruitment in some capacity, whether it be forming. And speaking of forming committees, let me address that because we have a number of new people in my office, deans and the like. And we've had some growing pains is what I'm calling them in terms of missteps, not anything intentional, not anything that anyone should be concerned about just opportunities to revisit how our process works. And so we are working through those things, making sure that everyone has the information about how to open a position, beginning with a justification, beginning with the program review process. And then from there, that it goes in the appropriate direction, which includes working with our wonderful academic senate, classified senate, and our SPI managers to make sure that there are representatives on from those constituency groups on all hiring committees. And then from there, when there is a final interview for select positions, when and where appropriate, that there is a faculty member in the hiring. We've had a couple missteps, but nothing to write home about. But we you know, when we make a misstep, we learn from it and ensure that it doesn't happen again. Nothing noteworthy, but just a couple of oversights, as we have a number of new people who are working through these things. And I've been working with Jocelyn and Sean and Maria Jose to make sure that we're all on the same page, and then carrying that information forward to our wonderful managers as they seek to form the hiring committees for these positions. Any questions about hiring? We are bringing in close to 50 people, and as Tilly mentioned, we are getting retirement notifications weekly. I had a preliminary discussion with Tilly about the librarian position, Robbie, and hope that she will carry that information. We're hoping to meet with the librarians. Would love to hire a librarian, but am looking for someone who is also willing to teach courses, and particularly in our first year experience program. But I am pretty confident, probably by the fall, if not sooner, that we'll at least get to that, at least one of the librarian positions. It's just a matter of waiting for the next retirement. And when I mention retirements, these are really replacement positions. They're not new. They're new maybe to the department, but many of them are replacement. Only 4 of them are what we would call expansion positions, meaning 4 of the 15 or so faculty that we're hiring are brand spanking new, meaning they're expanding the number of faculty. We have done an amazing job writing grants. So a great number of the positions that we're hiring are actually on restricted grant funding. So if you're wondering how we're hiring in certain areas, it's because those folks have been busy writing grants. Kudos to mental health and the food pantry. I mean, I can go down the list of areas that have received grants that are allowing us to bring counselors and other much needed positions to the college. Tilly.
Thank you, Ricky. I did have a clarification. You mentioned it, but I just want to make sure everyone heard it and I heard it correctly as well. On hiring committees, all hiring committees, even though there may be an AP for the faculty hiring committee, we at City College also require that we have somebody from classified and SPA on those committees as well. I'm just clarifying. It did come up as a question earlier today in the dean's meeting, and somebody, you know, they kind of felt like, well, maybe the specialty, the people, the experts, are there not enough of them? Well, there's not. You can add another faculty member. It could be maybe a classified, like maybe an ILT or something from those areas. Could also be an EEO rep, or those couple kind of double roles. So I just kind of wanted to bring that back up, that some people questioning, saying, oh, that's a little bit different than what it might say on that AP. And I just wanted to have that clarification.
Yeah, so the AP is the floor, right? It's not the ceiling. And so we have the ability to add additional people, but we should be clear that when we're adding faculty, those faculty need to be appointed by the academic senate process. As a president, I can't just arbitrarily, or as a dean, or even as a faculty chair, you can't just arbitrarily assign faculty to a hiring committee. You must go through the academic senate. So all 3 of our, including the manager, so all 4 of our constituency groups have a process. As the president, I assign the manager. Sometimes I delegate that to the vice presidents who assign the hiring manager. Maria Jose and the executive committee the committee on committees, as I understand it, is called, assign a faculty rep. Usually for faculty hires, there are 3. Usually for managers, there's 3. For a classified professional, it may be 1. So we go above and beyond what the AP says, because we're committed to shared governance here at City College. And certainly that faculty member is going to be working with a classified professional, just as a classified professional is going to be working with a faculty member. This is spelled out in the document that was sent to all of the deans and the managers. So when in doubt, and Maria Jose has the document, Sean Ryan has the document, Jocelyn has the document as well. So when in doubt, reach out to the leaders of your constituency group. Maria Jose.
No, my comment was following up Tilly's comment, and I think, yes, I would like to have a little bit of a deeper conversation about this, just because, you know, we're also cleaning up our own process, especially when hiring faculty. So I want to, and I know we're a lot of new people, so I would love to have maybe like a session where we can help each other or teach each other our own processes, so we can all be in the same page.
Absolutely. And if you would email me kind of what you have in mind, I would love to do so. You know, part of the doing so is here in College Council. So if you'd like to put a formal item on College Council, I would love to do so. I'm still learning kind of what the challenges are there, other than people just referring back to the documents that we have put together. But if there's ever a need for clarity, we're always here to help. Any other questions? So what we may do for the next meeting, Janelle and Tilly, and I'm going to actually ask John Parker, is to talk about the number of vacancies and recruitments, and let's share, John, that document that we have, so that people can see the number of vacancies, recruitments that are underway, where we have filled or made an offer, where we're waiting for committees to be formed, and all of those wonderful things, because we are going to be hiring at least through the fall semester with some of these positions, just depending on where they are with the committee structure. If there are no questions, also wanted to remind you of some fall important dates. Welcome Back Week, also known as Flex Week, August 15th through the 19th. The vice presidents are working with a planning committee to have a very festive welcome back for fall. Convocation is scheduled for August 18th. We'll have a student panel. Diego, we'd probably tap you and Maria Jose to assist us with a student panel. I want to hear from our students about the impacts of COVID and the college and basic needs, so that we're all on the same page on what the challenges facing students are. On October 13th, we have our fall board meeting, and we have a number of presentations from the nursing program to the reorganized student services and a host of other things. We'll go over that probably in a meeting in August for College Council to see who has been selected to present for our fall board meeting. With that said, that concludes our meeting. Are there any updates or announcements for the good of the order? Hearing none, folks, you all enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you all same time, same place in about 2 weeks. Take care, everyone.